we make things. We use our hands, minds, and machines to build, to fix, to improve. We're known as do-it-yourselfers, home improvement fans, fix-it fanatics, inventors. At our core, though, we're all makers. So let's jump in and make something. Hi, I'm Ron Hazelton. Welcome to the show. Well, I'm trying my best to join the Green Thumb Club, doing what I can to learn the ins and outs of gardening. What I've discovered, though, is keeping my plants properly watered, well, it can be a real challenge. So I've decided to install an automatic drip irrigation system. You'll see how simple it can be. Then I head to the Sunshine State to help turn a bare alcove into a built-in entertainment center. Stay with me. You'll be glad you did. You know, the longer I'm here, the more I enjoy my gardening. But I've got one problem when it comes to watering. I'm on the road a lot, and sometimes several days can go by, and these guys don't get any water. Also, I've got several different situations. Container plants back here, foundation plants over here, and flowering plants. So what I'm going to do is install an automatic drip irrigation system. It'll water the plants even if I'm not home and take into account their individual requirements.
As much as 2/3 of the water used in our homes is actually used outside, taking care of our yard and plants. And drip irrigation can show as much as a 70% water savings over other methods. Also, studies have shown that plant material grows as much as 50% faster using drip irrigation.
My drip irrigation system is going to start right here with this hose bib or faucet. Now, the first thing I want to do is screw on this check valve. It's designed to keep the irrigation water out here from flowing inside the house and contaminating my household water supply. Tightening this set screw will keep vibration, or maybe even the kids, from loosening the valve. The next thing I want to do is turn this single faucet right here into 4, using what's called a hose bib manifold. Now, these are pressure reducers. In a lot of homes, water pressure can run 60, 80, some places even over 100 pounds per square inch. That's way too much pressure for a drip irrigation system. So what this device does is drop it down from household pressure to something in the 20 to 25 pound range. In the area that I've decided to irrigate, there are several different kinds of plants with different water requirements. So I've set up 3 areas or zones, and each one of them is going to be served by one of these outlets. This 4th one over here will be for my garden hose. Now remember, in my case, I want the water to come on and turn off automatically. So the next step for me is to install, or in this case, just screw on an automatic valve. These electronic valves operate using very low voltage. They'll turn the water on and off for each zone when they're instructed to do so. Now, this is the brain behind my automatic drip irrigation system. It's called a timer or controller. It's completely weatherproof, battery operated, and each of these automatic valves will plug into the bottom like this. And then the controller itself mounts on the front of one of the valves. Now, I'm going to program this, and it will tell each of these automatic valves which day of the week to turn on, which time of the day to come on, and how long to run. Well, I'm finished with the work on my water source. Now I need to set up a distribution system to get the water from the valves to where it's needed. That water highway, if you will, is 1/2-inch polyethylene tubing. Here are a couple of tips for working with this tubing. Put it out in the sun a couple of hours before you start. That'll warm it up and make it more pliable. And 2, invest in a pair of these cutters. One end of the tubing I connect to the automatic valves. In my case, since I have fairly deep mulch in my beds, I'm going to lay the tubing on top of the ground. So all I'll have to do is rake a path. Then use tubing stakes to anchor the run in place. Now, when you reach the end of a run of tubing like this, you have to close or cap it off. There are a couple of ways to do that. One is to take a figure-8 clip like this, slip it over the tubing, bend the tubing, and then slide the clip back up to keep it in position. Sort of like you'd bend a garden hose to stop the flow of water. Another way to end a run of tubing is with a cap like this. When winter weather comes, I can just unscrew the cover and drain the lines. This half-inch polyethylene tubing brings water into a general area, and this smaller quarter-inch tubing delivers it to individual plants or groups of plants. To attach the smaller tubing to the large, I first use a special punch to make a small hole. Then snap in a connector. Next, I slip on a piece of quarter-inch tubing and cut it to length. On the ends of the tubing go the emitters, small nozzles, if you will, that emit different amounts of water, anywhere from 1 to 4 gallons per hour in a variety of patterns. Drip emitters like this are extremely efficient, delivering water directly to the base of the plant. Misters, sprays, and sprinklers are often mounted on higher stakes and distribute water in quarter circle, half circle, full circle, even rectangular patterns. Just one of these can water several plants at once. For my container plants here, I'm going to use something called soaker tubing. The water actually penetrates through the wall. Now, it's very easy to use. I start by putting a T in the end of the quarter-inch tubing like this. Place one end of the soaker tubing on one arm of the T. Lay the soaker tube around the base of the plant. Cut it to length, and then hook the end of the tube on the other arm of the T. Now for my hanging plants, I'm going to use this flexible mister. With this part of my irrigation system in place and ready to go to work, I can rake the mulch back over the tubing, making it invisible yet accessible.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
The tubing can also be buried. Usually a trench just a few inches deep is adequate. Since the line is not under pressure, freezing is usually not a concern. The simplest way to run tubing across grass is to make an angled cut through the turf using a flat garden spade. Then lever the sod upward to create a shallow groove. Set the tubing in the bottom of the cut and press the grass back into place. This is called a sidewalk tunneling tool. It's simply a plastic nozzle attached to a length of PVC pipe with a hose connected to the opposite end. The stream of water actually bores a hole under the sidewalk. Once I'm through, I use a pair of PVC pipe cutters to snip off the nozzle and the hose connector. The plastic pipe stays in place and acts as a conduit. I just push the irrigation tubing through it. Well, I'm up early this morning, but not as early as my automatic irrigation system. You know, it's good to know that even if I'm on the road or I want to sleep in late, these guys are not going to suffer because of it. Now there's a sound you hate to hear. A screwdriver bit just slipping in the head of a screw. But there are a couple of ways that you might be able to get those screws out easier than you think. This product, called Screw Grab, is a gritty material suspended in a gel. Just a drop on a damaged screw head can increase a screwdriver's gripping power by up to 400%. Now, if this doesn't work, you might try a screw extractor. First, drill a small hole in the head of the screw. Then insert the extractor and turn it counterclockwise. The more you turn it, the deeper the extractor bites into the screw. Rita Brockway of Windermere, Florida, has asked for a little help with a built-in bookcase. I'm a payer house call. Hi, good morning,
Ron.
Rita.
Hi, Ron. Come on in.
Oh, thanks. This looks like this must be the area
Yep,
over
this
here
is the
you were talking
entertainment
about.
center.
Okay.
And as you can see right now, it looks fairly undone, unfinished. So I really wanted a nice entertainment center so everything would have a proper place for it.
Okay.
Rita's living room has an alcove that's the perfect place for the kind of entertainment center she has in mind. She wants something that looks built in and can house her TV, stereo, CDs, books, and of course,
Frames, little tchotchkes, little ornaments.
Well, that's not what TVs look like these days, is it?
now it's time to sit down and draw a rough sketch. The base section will have doors and drawers for lots of out-of-sight storage. On top, we'll build 3 cabinets with adjustable shelving. Finally, to give our project that built-in look,
What we want to do is put this in place and then trim out, the way I see it, the edge of it right
Right.
here, all the way around with molding,
That would look great.
so that it looks like it's built into the unit.
to save time and money and a lot of work, we construct the base from stock kitchen cabinets purchased at the nearby Home Improvement Center. The cabinets are first clamped together and then secured with screws. On each end, we attach a filler strip to conceal the space between the cabinets and the wall.
Now,
Okay.
it's the same with the drill. The further you pull the trigger, the faster the blade goes.
Before setting the base section in place, we cut holes in the back of the cabinets to give us access to the electrical outlets and TV cable jack in the wall. Boring holes through the sides of the cabinets will allow us to run wires wherever we need them. Next, we measure for the countertop.
So all the way to the corner.
Okay, 79 3/4.
Okay, good. And now let's measure from the wall, 29.5.
Okay.
Transfer those measurements to a sheet of 3/4-inch plywood.
Okay, we want our cut here to be at 21.
Then, it's time for Rita to confront the tool she's most uncomfortable using.
Okay.
Have you ever used one of these before?
No, I
Are you
haven't.
concerned about using this?
A little bit.
In this week's sweepstakes, we're giving away a Ryobi 4-piece lithium-ion compact combo power tool kit. It includes a circular saw, a work light, cordless drill and charger, and reciprocating saw, all in a rugged carrying case. Now these tools are powerful, yet compact, lightweight, and easy to handle. The lithium-ion batteries hold a charge 40% longer. To enter the sweepstakes, just go to ronhazelton.com and click on the sweepstakes banner.
We're turning this alcove into a built-in bookcase. We've set the base cabinets in place, and my friend Rita's about to meet the circular saw. I ask her if she's ever used one before,
No.
but despite a little apprehension, she makes a near-perfect first cut.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. Beautiful straight cut.
Good.
How was that?
Not so bad. Not so scary.
Rita's first cutting job results in a near-perfect fit. A piece of 1x8 poplar, notched to fit around the corners, conceals the edge of the plywood.
This is a great way to get a built-in run of base cabinets like this using off-the-shelf kitchen cabinets. You can see that these went together in a very short time and they cost us less than $300. But we're not stopping here. We're building an entertainment center. It's going to go all the way up. So now let's move on to the next section.
The upper portion of our entertainment center will be made in 3 sections. A center section for the TV, and 2 side sections for books, audio gear, and collectibles. Using the circular saw and a clamp-on straight edge as a guide, we cut the sides, bottoms, and tops from sheets of 3/4-inch birch veneer plywood.
Now the upper section of our entertainment center is going to have adjustable shelves. They're going to be supported on pins just like these. And these pins are going to be set into a series of holes. Now 2 things are really important here. These holes have to start at the same point, usually near the bottom, and they have to be spaced precisely the same distance apart.
Now here's how we've been drilling those holes so accurately. After measuring and drawing a baseline, I align and clamp a pre-drilled plastic template to the cabinet side. Using a self-centering drill bit, I then drill a series of holes about 2/3 of the way through the wood. The process is then repeated on all of the cabinet sides. The face of this cabinet-grade plywood is smooth and clean, but like most plywood, the edges are rough and unfinished. To conceal them, I apply edge banding, a thin strip of wood with a heat-activated adhesive backing. Once it's trimmed and sanded, it'll make these plywood panels look like solid wood. We're going to face the edges of our shelves with a solid piece of 1x2 lumber. This edging will make the shelves more rigid and will give them a thicker, more substantial appearance.
Well, it's time for some assembly, and we're going to start with this end section right here. I've laid all the pieces out on the table. Now we're going to glue and nail these together. But to help us position these pieces for assembly and to make the unit stronger, we're going to be using these wooden biscuits or splines.
The biscuits are set into slots cut with this machine called a plate joiner, which can be rented or purchased for as little as $100. Once the joiner has cut the slot, glue is applied and a biscuit or spline is inserted. With the biscuits in place, more glue is applied to the surface of the wood and the pieces are pressed together.
Just put them right in the slots.
With the splines holding everything in the correct position, the two pieces are nailed.
A lot of things that we've done so far, it was just a matter of watching once how it's done, and then I could become a pro, because that's all you need basically, is you need to be shown how to do something, and then once you have that information, that knowledge, then you can do it yourself.
Here we go.
We complete this same assembly process for all three upper cabinets and carry each one back into the house.
Very nice job. Slide into place. Okay. Very slowly. Good job.
After securing the cabinets together with screws, we cut trim strips and attach them to the front edge of the cabinets to conceal the joint. Now Rita gets a chance to try out the power miter saw as she cuts the molding or casing that will give the entire unit that built-in look. Finally, it's time to mount the cabinet doors, install the drawers, and set the shelves into position.
Okay.
Boy, let's let me take a look at this. This came out so nice. I know we did it, but I must say, it really turned out nicely. You know, what was the most satisfying thing for you on this project?
I think seeing it all put together at the end, it's a little hard to imagine sometimes, just seeing the different parts and pieces, but when it's all pulled together, you really see what it is.
And I got to tell you, this really changes the personality of the entire room. Remember back what it looked like with that just hole here?
It's horrible.
And now what it looks like. And it changed your personality too.
It did.
Yes, you have a tool personality now.
And I still have all my fingers.
You do. Great job.
Thanks.
Well, you know, whenever you try to pour paint out of a can into a bucket, what a messy proposition it can be. Well, here are a couple of ways to pour more neatly. This is a plastic pouring spout. To use it, you just take off the lid of a paint can, drop this right inside. Then, when you pour, it's accurate, no drips, no mess. Now, this spout is actually a replacement lid for a 1-gallon can. Just take off the standard lid, pop this one on, tap it in place, unscrew the cap, and pour. When you're finished, just screw the cap back on, and you've got an airtight storage container. So, no need for this anymore when you've got one of these or one of these.
We make things. We use our hands, minds, and machines to build, to fix, to improve. We're known as do-it-yourselfers, home improvement fans, fix-it fanatics, inventors. At our core, though, we're all makers. So let's jump in and make something.
Hi, I'm Ron Hazelton. Welcome to the show. Today's house call takes me to the home of two radio personalities who want to add charm in a romantic setting to their bedroom with a ventless gas fireplace. Then I turn up the temperature right here in my own shop by installing a heater made just for the purpose. Stick with me. You'll be glad you did.
police on the scene. I'm Ann Rondepierre. We want to wait first, fast, accurate traffic.
Good morning, Storm and Norman. It's the Weeby Wake Up Morning Show. Sunny and very cold today. We'll have a high about 25. And it is 8 right now at Weeby 108. We make an appeal this morning to Ron Hazelton. Now, Ron, if you're listening, my wife and I would like to see whether or not you can put in one of those beautiful ventless fireplaces in our bedroom to take the chill off these winter nights.
Now, how often do I get a house call request over the air and from Storm and Norman at that? I gotta check this out. Hey guys, how are you? Oh, snow, and more snow on the way here.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I heard you had a good sense of humor, so I just couldn't pass that up.
Well, Ron, this is it, our bedroom.
This is it, the Passion Palace.
Yes, kind of.
I can see it right now. You want to lie in bed, cold winter's evening, fireplace.
Sounds
I wouldn't mind that myself. So this is where you're thinking about putting it?
We were hoping if we could get a corner unit, that this would be a nice spot to enjoy it from the bed or from our seating area.
Now, I'm trying to think whether we should go vent or ventless.
I'm leaning toward the ventless. The technology has been around for decades in Europe. It's been well established here. It's safe, even for a bedroom. And then we avoid all that work, as you say, of putting holes in the ceiling and the wall. So why don't we get online, kind of just look around a little bit and see what's out there and what appeals to you.
Sounds good.
This is the Empire Comfort Systems website. This is their White Mountain Hearth collection. This is a vent-free fireplace right here.
Could it be painted?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I think it comes in white.
Hey guys, take a look at this, will you? Now this is not an example of my cabinet making ability, but it will serve to give you some idea of what that unit you guys liked online might look like in here from a proportion standpoint.
Right.
Yeah, this is great.
I'm starting to be able to imagine it.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Fire,
I
flames.
can see it.
Okay.
I can feel it.
Now, what I want you to do, and I'm serious about this,
Okay.
but go over there and lie in bed for a second, will you? I want you to see how it looks to you from that perspective.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Is there any way we could maybe raise it up a little higher on a hearth or something so we could actually see the fire part?
Yeah, why don't we try that? Yeah, let's pick up each,
Okay.
grab an edge, and then we can slide this under. Is there something we can just take it up a little bit?
John Grisham, okay?
Oh, he'd be proud to be part of this project.
You know
What do you think?
I like that.
Now that we've settled on a height for our raised hearth, I head back to my shop and begin cutting out the pieces while Ann and Norm go back online and select their fireplace. My hearth kit has a top and 3 sides. Our first step is to attach some glue blocks along the edge.
This is like how I do on my hot dogs.
Bring this right up. You're gonna nail right into that block we just put on. Okay, we'll pull this side up now.
All right,
Okay.
one more, huh?
Side number 3. What I did is I cut a couple of kind of corner braces to drop in here. So take your nail gun now and right down through here. Give me about 4.
It's your fingers.
Oh, gee! Ah! Now let's do that once.
Little carpenter humor.
Okay, I say, let's give this a test fit, huh?
All right, let's spin it around. All set.
Okay.
Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Okay, looks pretty good. We just got one little problem.
The baseboard is keeping the hearth from sitting tightly against the wall. So we turn the base bottom side up, clamp on a piece of scrap trim as a template, trace the outline, and cut out the shape with a jigsaw.
So this is what I would call a ledger. It's a piece of wood that we're going to attach to the wall to support the back of this. I'm right at the top of the board, right on that line. You got it? It should drop right in. Huh?
Well, our ledger's installed and we've got a snug fit all around. So we nail everything in place. For a cozy romantic touch, radio personalities Ann and Norm want to install a corner fireplace in their bedroom. We decided to create a raised hearth to give them a better eyeline when they're snuggled in bed. The hearth has been assembled, installed, and nailed in place. Now we're moving on to the prefabricated fireplace.
Well, Norman, there it is. Everything we need for your fireplace and mantel right here.
Oh, the good stuff.
The good stuff. And you're going to be amazed how easily this goes together.
We set the fireplace base on our raised hearth, place the firebox on top,
Set about halfway back.
and attach it in place with screws. Next, I attach the flexible gas line and tighten the connection. Then we remove the protective plastic from the metal trim, set the fireplace surrounds in position, and then the apron. Once again, we attach ledgers to the wall, then slide the fireplace assembly into position. Finally, we set the mantel on top and attach it to the ledgers.
All right. Huh? Solid?
Yeah,
Looks pretty good.
looks very official looking.
And back?
Honey? No, I don't think so.
Out here? You know where she is?
No, I think she went shopping. Get some accessories.
You think we should go forward without her taking a look at this?
No,
Really?
no,
Think she'll be long?
no. She
All right.
should be back pretty soon.
Oh, there's a rig.
So, thanks. You know, this is coming out really good. How's everybody?
The family?
Yeah,
Good.
that's
The
good.
little one. You know, I'm getting like that 2 hours of sleep every night.
Oh, you're gonna love that.
Yeah. I'll see your red anchor and I'll raise you an orange screw and a molly bolt. It is.
Honey. Honey. You guys have been hard at work, I
Waiting.
can see.
Oh, yeah.
We always, you know, we
Yeah.
didn't really want to go ahead until you took a look at it. What do you think?
Wow.
Huh?
Okay, wait, let me block this out for a moment. Wow. I think
like
I
it?
really like it.
Well, this is the main reason I wanted to get your input here. Is what we're going to do up here. We can leave it just like this, but my thought is if we were to put some kind of a wall back here,
Right.
we might make this look more like there's actually a chimney there.
And that would come up flat.
Yeah, it'll
Flush
come
with
up
the-
here,
yeah.
and I think it might sell the idea that this is more of a built-in fireplace.
And it would give me a nice spot to maybe hang a picture, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I didn't get that right away, but while I was sleeping, it came to me in a dream.
That nap paid off.
So, this is what I'm thinking of here. But just stand back and kind of look at that and see if you think you're going to like that better than just the wall. I'll put it up. I'll take it down.
You know, Ron, I think I like it a lot better.
This time we put our ledger strips up vertically, nailing them into the wall studs. Then we position a piece of 1/2-inch plywood on top of the ledgers and nail it in place. Finally, we install drywall over the plywood
Look at that.
and secure it with screws. Next, I apply a bedding coat of joint compound to the seams. Tear off lengths of joint tape, dampen them in water, apply the tape to the seams, press it firmly into the compound using a putty knife, and finally snip off the excess. Now it's time to trim out our base with decorative edge molding and install baseboard. A couple of coats of paint and Norm begins setting the logs in place. This is about the only wood carrying he'll have to do for this fireplace.
Not only can we build good fireplaces, we're good interior decorators too. Look at that, will you?
Looks good,
Terrific.
guys.
Hey, Annie,
Annie,
how are
come on
you?
in.
I've got
What do you
one
think?
more addition. I think it looks fantastic, but I got to see this.
Oh yeah, you wanted that wall so you could hang a picture on
Yes,
it.
I
There it
did.
is. Voila.
Nice, huh?
It looks great, Ron.
This calls for a toast. Let me go get the champagne. Hey, nice fireplace. Certainly is nice to be here, lying,
This was a great idea.
looking.
You ready?
Ready.
Hey,
May I pour?
To the fireplace.
Thank you. Yes, and all the pleasure it may bring.
in the old Pleasure Palace. All right. How about one more thing?
Sure.
Would you mind locking the door on the way out?
Oh, sure. In this week's sweepstakes, we're giving away a Ryobi 4-piece lithium-ion compact combo power tool kit. It includes a circular saw, a work light, cordless drill and charger, and reciprocating saw, all in a rugged carrying case. Now these tools are powerful, yet compact, lightweight, and easy to handle. The lithium-ion batteries hold a charge 40% longer. To enter the sweepstakes, just go to ronhazelton.com and click on the sweepstakes banner.
It's chilly out there today. You know, this is my first winter here in the shop, and already it's become apparent I've got to have some heat out here. Now, I don't need to keep this at a constant temperature, that is a living temperature, but I do want to be able to get the heat up quickly when I need it. So I've settled on this unit right here. It's called the Hot Dog. Now this heater comes in 4 different sizes: 30,000 BTUs, 45,000 BTUs, 60,000, and 70,000 BTUs. This is the 60,000 BTU model right here, and this is the one that's the right size for my shop. So let's get started. We're going to put this up. There we go. Now this heater is designed to attach directly to the bottom of the joist, but in this case I want to mount it at an angle, so I've added a couple of 2x6s up here and lag screwed those into the joist. Now, since I'm going to be working alone today, one of the more challenging parts of this project may be hoisting this 80-pound heater up there where I'm going to attach it to those 2x6s. To start with, I've wrapped a couple of cargo straps around the case.
A little research leads me to a marine supply store, where I check out things in the rigging department.
Now, to do the heavy lifting today, I've decided to use this marine block and tackle. It's designed to lift very heavy booms on sailing ships. Lightweight, very strong, a little pricey, but it's a lifetime tool. Now I'm going to attach it to this 2x4 that I put up earlier.
The lower end of the block and tackle gets attached to the cargo straps. Then I hoist the 80-pound heater upward as easily as a sailor would raise a mainsail on a mizzenmast. Once in position, I clamp the mounting flanges and bore clearance holes. Next, I insert carriage bolts and finally twist on nuts and snug them tight with a socket wrench.
Now, this being a gas-burning appliance, I, of course, have got to exhaust those gases out of flue. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach this T-shaped piece of flue to the back of the furnace right here. And I'll attach that permanently a little bit later on. Now there's going to be a second piece of pipe that'll go from the center of this flue right up through the roof. And that means we're going to have to cut a hole up there that's exactly on top of this one right here. So let's take a plumb bob. This is the best way to do this. I'm going to move it around up here until the plumb bob is centered directly over this flue. All right, now I'll make a mark right up here at the top of the plumb bob line, right there.
Next, I bore through the roof and insert a wire coat hanger.
Well, the coat hanger marks the spot. We won't need that anymore, so let me push this back down through here. Now what I want to do is draw a circle 6 inches in diameter. Now this is a lumber crayon that I have in here.
I bore a 1/2-inch hole on the edge of the circle, insert the blade of a jigsaw, and make the cutout.
Well, this is the flashing that's going to make the watertight seal eventually around our flue. I'm going to set this about where I want it here, and that is I want to center the large opening down here on the bottom over that hole that we cut in the roof. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to reach inside with my lumber crayon. Be careful because this is sharp here. I'm going to trace the outline of this sort of oval-shaped base here.
Then, using a utility knife with a hooked blade, I cut along the mark that I just made. Next, I apply sealant to the lower shingles where the base will be sitting on top. Then I slide the flashing underneath the upper shingles and into the circular cutout. Finally, I secure the flashing base with roofing nails.
This is double-walled vent pipe. The inner liner is aluminum, the outside is galvanized steel. Now the idea is that even though there are hot gases passing through this pipe, the outer jacket remains cool. So what I'm going to do is pass this up through that flashing we put on earlier.
The lower end of the pipe I connect to the vent coming out of the back of the heater. The joints are held together with couplings that snap into place. Back up on the roof, I slip a weather ring over the top of the vent and slide it down to the top of the flashing. Finally, I set the vent cap in place and apply sealant to the nail heads. With everything finished on the roof, I go back inside to make the electrical connections. Next, I apply thread sealant to the gas pipe sections, tighten them together, and finally connect the flexible gas line. I installed the main part of the gas line and shutoff valve earlier.
I've installed a programmable thermostat because out here in the garage workshop I don't need heat all the time, just when I'm working. And the nice thing about this one is if I'm coming to work at 9 o'clock, I can set this to bring the heat up around 8:30. Well, I can't tell you how glad I am that I put this unit in. In the few weeks since I've installed it, the temperature hasn't gotten above freezing. And this heater has done a great job of giving me heat where I want it, when I want it. The toughest thing about gluing something like this broken china dish is clamping or holding the pieces together while the glue dries. That's why this is a perfect application for cyanoacrylates. Now, these are sometimes called instant glues. They're very easy to use. In this case, I'm just going to put some glue on this edge here. I'm not going to make any effort to smooth this out. Actually, what I kind of want is a sort of a little bead going here. But I do want it to be continuous because this is going to have to hold liquids. All right. Now that's on. I'm going to press these two pieces together. Just hold them just like this. Now the thing about cyanoacrylates is they come in different thicknesses. Generally speaking, the more coarse or porous the material, the thicker glue you'll want to use. You'll also want to use the thicker glues on plastics. Now this particular one that I'm using takes about 10 to 15 seconds to set up. So I should be able to let go of this and have a repair. Now the truth is I want to wait about 24 hours for this to reach maximum hardness. So before I put this back into use, I'll let it sit on the shelf overnight.